unlike Sheriff Lou, I do need the crate. And I'll try to keep this as short as I am short. Listen, thank you, Worcester, for having this, Worcester Republican City Committee, all the folks involved in putting this together. I think it's important that we get this message out, that we're ready to fight Elizabeth Warren tooth and nail come November. And yes, right now we're in a primary situation where we've all got to come together and collectively decide who that best individual will be to go up against Elizabeth Warren and defeat her in November. Now, I'm here in support of someone that I got to know, someone that I got to learn a lot about, and someone that I've also known for a very long period of time because she's always been there, so to speak, for us as Republicans, and that's Beth Lindstrom. For over 30 years, she has been a Republican, supporting our Republican causes here in Massachusetts, supporting our candidates across the state, and now I think it's time for us to be there for her as she looks to challenge Elizabeth Warren come this November. I think she has a unique profile here for us to really rally behind, with her government experience, her Republican political experience, and her private sector experience. And I think those are unique qualifications that she can put up against Elizabeth Warren that I don't think the other two candidates have at this time. And I'm very, very encouraged and enthusiastic that Beth Lindstrom not only will give Elizabeth Warren a run for her money, but she'll take back the people's seat. We talked about Scott Brown winning in 2010. Beth Lindstrom was his campaign manager in that successful run. We need her to run against Elizabeth Warren, and we need to win back that people's seat, which was stolen from the people, not just stolen from the Republicans. Elizabeth Warren stole it from the people and turned it into a seat of partisan hatred. She turned it into a seat of special interest, liberal interest groups, for special liberal interest groups. That's what she's turned it into. And we need to take it back for the people of Massachusetts, all the people of Massachusetts. And I know a Republican is the best person to do that. And personally, in my opinion, I think the best candidate we can put forward in November is Beth Lindstrom. And it's my honor, my privilege to introduce Beth Lindstrom.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks so much. Thank you for your kind words. And Donna, thank you for putting this event together tonight. So I'm going to tell you why I'm running for U.S. Senate. And I'm going to start off to say that I would be seeing Elizabeth Warren in the TV in the morning, and I would blow dry my hair, and I would be having an argument in my head with her. And so I would call that early debate practice. But clearly, I have a fundamental disagreement with her about the role of government. And I think through the years, I thought to myself, if I was to run for office, what office would I run for? And this time around, I have the fire in the belly over this one, because clearly she can be beaten. But I also want to say, I thought about running this time because I had a personal experience. I had a friend of mine who went in the hospital January 2016, ended up passing away April 2016. And so when something like that happens to you in your life, you say, what should I be doing next? What should I be doing with my life? And so I said, I'm going to challenge myself. So why not take a really big challenge and go after Elizabeth Warren? But that's part of my strategy. I have a wonderful husband, I have 3 boys, and they're all behind me. So with that, I jumped into the race. So let me tell you a little bit about my background, because I met some of you, and I'm sure some of you have heard me before. But so I grew up in Connecticut, and my parents were divorced when I was 7 years old. So if I wanted anything, I had to work for it. And that's where I developed a great work ethic. My dad was from Worcester, actually grew up Peacedale Avenue. My great-grandparents came from Sweden and settled on Steel Street in Worcester. And my mom grew up in Sutton, Mass, right down the road. So I feel like I do have Worcester roots. And so I put myself through University of Connecticut undergraduate and moved to Massachusetts, where I actually moved back to Sutton with my aunt and uncle. And my first job was actually a waitress at 6 o'clock in the morning at the Worcester Marriott. I don't know if you remember when the place down the road was a Marriott. So, fond memories. Anyhow, so I moved to Massachusetts, and then shortly thereafter I did move to Boston, and I got a job working at the Republican State Party in 1987, working for Ray Shammy. And we ended up helping to elect Bill Weld, Paul Cellucci, Joe Malone back in 1990. It was a huge effort. And we were able to elect enough state senators to sustain Governor Weld's veto, which was huge in the Democrat-controlled legislature. I ran the convention in 1990, 6,000 people, where Steve Pierce won. I was on the phone with Governor Weld the other day, and he said, yeah, and actually I lost to a supermajority. A lot of people, I had a lot of lonely barbecues during that summer by himself, but he won the primary. So just because there's an endorsement, we still have a chance in September to get on the ballot. And I believe we will. So I've worked at the Republican State Party, have delivered results for the Republicans of Massachusetts. I went on to advise Governor Romney on his governor's race as more political experience. Saw when Shannon O'Brien was 4 points ahead of him, and then how he was able to beat her. I was Scott Brown's campaign manager. I know what a national race looks like and how intense it can be. And I know that the rest of this country will be watching Massachusetts when it comes. And I was president of the Super PAC for Charlie Baker and Karen Polito this last go-round, where we raised $10 million around the country. And we spent $8 million on commercials that reminded voters that Martha Coakley didn't know what the gas tax was. So we spent $8 million in broadcasting. I think that had a little effect. And still, we won by 40,000 votes. So I do know how hard it is to win statewide. That's why we do have to put our best candidate forward, someone who can go up against Elizabeth Warren and be able to win. So that's a political background. I've served as the first woman lottery director in Massachusetts. We were a model for the country, if not the world, delivering results for the people of Massachusetts, back monies to cities and towns. And when I was there, had a 17-month-old, 7-week-old, and I would put myself through graduate school at Northeastern University so I could better myself. But I also served on Governor Romney's cabinet as Secretary of Consumer Affairs and Business Regulation. And here's another example of where I can go toe-to-toe with Elizabeth Warren on her consumer issues. There are things that I did 10 years ago in Massachusetts that she's just is suggesting now. So I understand that balance of consumer protection and business regulation. We actually won a Better Government Award from the Pioneer Institute for culling out unnecessary regulations for businesses. Very, very proud of that. And also lowering auto insurance for millions of people in Massachusetts. A lot of effort, a lot of things we did in consumer affairs. So that's my government experience. But I've also been involved in 4 startup companies. One that I was showing Donna about today, because it's a tornado alerting system. Anyhow, so I said, we're safe, we got it. So, but I've been there to raise money, to raise capital, and to take that risk and reward. And this is something, again, that Elizabeth Warren does not have a clue about, because she's all about the social contract, that it's your duty if you're a business owner, because everybody else made the roads that you drive your trucks on. Well, I say to that, no, I did build that. I lost money, I lost people's money. I've learned from all of those experiences. And I am a small business owner, so I do pay a payroll every 2 weeks. I've created jobs. She has none of that experience. That in total puts me in a good position to run against her. She also said that she wanted to write a book, Teach and Throw Rocks, and I'm not a rock thrower. My whole career has been working across the aisle with people to get results. So I feel very good about being able to go up against her. I've been out since the convention. I'm very happy with our results at the convention. I've been meeting many people all over who said, Beth, I'm a Democrat, but she's got to go. I'm with you. You're the best chance to beat her. I was with a Democrat mayor last night. His wife just changed registrations from Democrat. She couldn't wait to meet me. She said, it's you. I'm getting behind you. That's why I feel really good, and I believe I will be able to take the message of smaller government, making sure we keep our economy strong. I encourage what the president's doing. I voted for him. And then I think that we need to solve a lot of problems. But I'm ready to do that, roll up my sleeves, go to Washington, and serve the people here. So I appreciate your time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions afterward. Thank you very much.